Hello everyone, now let us discuss about anti-cancer drugs part 2. In the current session, we will be focusing on the brief classification of entire anti-cancer drugs with special focus on alkylating agents. So, coming to the broad classification, based on the chemical structure and the resource of the drug, anti-cancer drugs are broadly categorized into three categories: cytotoxic drugs, targeted drugs, and hormonal drugs. Cytotoxic drugs, they destroy or inhibit the growth and division of malignant cells in the treatment of cancer. Whereas targeted cells, they block the growth of cancer cells by interfering with specialized target molecules needed for the carcinogenesis and tumor growth. And hormonal drugs, they act by suppressing the hormonal secretion or by antagonizing the hormonal action. Now, coming to cell cycle. Certain anti-cancer drugs are cell cycle specific. For that reason, let us briefly discuss about the phases of cell cycle. Mainly it consists of G0 phase. It is not in the diagram. The G0 phase is nothing but resting phase, a phase where the cell has left the cycle and stopped the cell division. Now coming to G1 phase. G1 phase is also called as pre-synthetic phase. The cells increase in size and get ready for DNA synthesis in this phase. And the next phase is S phase. It is also called as synthesis phase. Here is the phase where DNA replication occurs. The next phase is G2 phase. Pre-mitotic phase. This is also called as pre-mitotic phase. As the name indicates, here the preparation for mitosis occurs. Cell continues to grow and ensures that everything is ready for the mitotic phase. And finally, next is mitosis or mitotic phase. Here where the cell division occurs. The mitotic phase is again divided or subcategorized into following phases. Here, in case of prophase, the centromere duplicates and forms microtubule. And in metaphase, microtubules attach to the centromes of the chromosome. And in the anaphase, chromosomes separate and reach each other's end. In the telophase, cell membrane constricts and it is ready to get separated. And finally, in the entire mitosis phase, cell growth stops and it divides into two identical daughter cells. So this is a brief idea of cell cycle. Now, based on the cell cycle, anti-cancer drugs are further classified based on the cell cycle specificity of that particular drug. So, coming here are the example of anti-cancer drugs which are cell cycle specific. That is, they act on the specific phase of the cell cycle. The drugs which act on S phase are antimetabolites, topomerase inhibitors. The drugs which act on M phase are vinca alkaloids and taxanes. And the drugs which act on G2 phase are bleomycin. And here is a list of cell cycle non-specific anti-cancer drugs. They are alkylating agents, platinum compounds, and antibiotics. So this is also important point. What are the cell cycle specific anti-cancer drugs? Now coming to the classification of cytotoxic drugs. It is classified as alkylating agents, platinum, coordination complexes. The alkylating agents are further classified based on their structure as nitrogen mustards, ethylene imine, alkyl sulfonate, nitrosoureas, triazine and methyl hydrazine. These are the various examples of the drugs. The next one is platinum coordination complexes. The examples are cisplatin, carboplatin and oxaliplatin. The next one is antimetabolites. They are folate antagonist, purine antagonist, and pyrimidine antagonist. The next one is microtubule damaging agents. They are vinca alkaloids, taxanes, istramostine. The next category is topomerase 2 inhibitors. Example is ethopside, and topomerase 1 inhibitor, it is topotecan and irinotecan. The examples of antibodies are actinomycin, doxorubicin, daunorubicin, etc. And the miscellaneous drugs are hydroxyurease, L-aspartase, arsenic trioxide, etc. And here is the list of targeted drugs classification. We will be discussing about each subclassification in detail in the further sessions. As of now, in the current session, we will be focusing only on the alkylating agents. And here is the list of hormonal drugs. And these are the further subcategories. Estrogens, SERMs downregulators, aromatase inhibitors, etc. And these are the examples of specified drugs. Now coming to cytotoxic drugs. As we have discussed earlier, the cytotoxic drugs are broadly categorized into 4 categories: alkylating agents, antimetabolites, cytotoxic antibodies, and plant derivatives. So coming to the alkylating agents. Alkylating agents, they form covalent bonds with DNA and thus impede replication. Alkylating agents, the main function is they form covalent bonds with DNA and thus impede the replication. Coming to the mechanism of action of antimetabolites, they block or subvert one of the more metabolic pathways involved in the DNA synthesis. Hence, they are called as antimetabolites. Coming to the mechanism of action of cytotoxic antibiotics, they have multiple effects on DNA and RNA synthesis and the topomerase action. The next category is plant derivatives. They affect the microtubule function, prevent the spindle formation, and inhibit the topomerase. So in the current session, we will be discussing in detail about alkylating agents. They form covalent bonds with particular nucleophilic substance in the cell, and most of the alkylating agents are bifunctional. That is, they have 2 alkylating group. This is an important point. Most of the alkylating agents are bifunctional. That is, they have 2 alkylating groups. And the main step in the mechanism of action is the formation of carbonium ion. A carbon with 6 electrons in its outer shell is carbonium ion. And the main step in the mechanism of action of alkylating agents is the formation of that carbonium ion. And such ions are highly reactive and react instantaneously with an electron donor, such as an amine group, hydroxyl group, or sulfhydryl group. Coming to the mechanism of action, the main target for alkylation in DNA is N7 position of guanine. N7 position of guanine, as it is highly nucleophilic. And similarly, N1 and N3 of adenine and N3 of cytosine may also be affected. But the main target for alkylating agents or alkylations in DNA is N7 position of guanine. A bifunctional agent, by reacting with 2 groups, can cause intra-chain cross-linking and also inter-chain cross-linking. As a result, both transcription and replication are interfered, which is the critical effect of alkylating agents. And their main impact is seen during the replication phase or S phase. The main impact is seen during the replication phase or S phase, where some zones of DNA are unpaired and more susceptible to alkylation. And this results in the block of G2 phase and subsequent apoptotic cell death. The other effect of alkylation at N7 position of guanine are excision of guanine base with main chain scission And the next one is pairing of alkylated guanine with thymine instead of cytosine, leading to the eventual substitution of a GC pair by an AT pair. So these are the other effect of alkylation at N7 position of guanine. So this is a pictorial representation. Bifunctional alkylating agents can cause intra or interchain cross-linking with DNA. And the main impact is seen during the replication phase or the S phase, when some zones of DNA are unpaired and they are more susceptible for alkylation, resulting in the block of G2 phase and subsequent cell death. Coming to the unwanted effects of alkylating agents, the major unwanted effects of alkylating agents are bone marrow depression, gastrointestinal disturbances, depression of gametogenesis, especially in men, leading to sterility, and increased risk of acute lymphocytic leukemia. These are some of the unwanted effects of alkylating agents. So based on their structure, alkylating agents are classified as nitrogen mustards, nitrosoureas, platinum compounds, and other alkylating agents. First of all, coming to nitrogen mustards. Their basic formula is RN-bis-2-chloroethyl. And in the body, each 2-chloroethyl side chain undergoes intramolecular cyclization with the release of chloride ion. And the highly reactive ethylene ammonium derivative reacts with the DNA and other molecules. This is the major mechanism of action. The highly reactive ethylene ammonium derivative reacts with DNA and the other molecules. Now, coming to the various drugs of alkylating agents, their uses, toxic effects, and antidote if there is any toxicity. The first one is cyclophosphamide. The major uses, it is used as immunosuppressant, and the toxic effects are nausea and vomiting, bone marrow depression, alopecia, and cystitis. Cyclophosphamide. And ifosfamide. The next drug is ifosfamide. It is mainly used for bronchogenic, breast, testicular, bladder, neck, head carcinomas, and osteogenic sarcoma and some lymphomas. These are the various uses of ifosfamide. And the toxic effects are hemorrhagic cystitis. It is caused by the metabolite acrolein. Ifosfamide has a reactive metabolite acrolein which causes hemorrhagic cystitis. And coming to the antidote, N-acetylcysteine or MESNA, sodium 2-mercaptoethane sulfonate, is used to treat hemorrhagic cystitis along with increased fluid intake. The next drug is chlorambucil. The uses are some immunosuppressant property, and chlorambucil is a drug of choice for chronic lymphatic leukemia and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. This is an important point. Chlorambucil is a drug of choice for chronic lymphatic leukemia and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The next drug is melphalan. The major uses are multiple myeloma and ovarian cancer. Coming to the toxic effect, bone marrow depression, infections, diarrhea, and pancreatitis. The next drug is bendamustine. It is mainly used for chronic lymphatic leukemia and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Chlorambucil is a drug of choice for chronic lymphatic leukemia and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Even bendamustine is also used for chronic lymphatic leukemia and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Coming to the toxic effects, myelosuppression, nausea and vomiting, fever, fatigue, and dysopnea. are some of the toxic effects or side effects of bendamustine. And the next drug is istramustine. It is a combination of chlormethine, that is mustine, and with estrogen. It is a hormonal drug also. It is mainly used for prostate cancer. It has both cytotoxic and hormonal action. Istramustine is majorly used for prostate cancer. It has both cytotoxic and hormonal action. Coming to nitrosoureas. They are lipid soluble. They cross blood-brain barrier and may act on non-dividing cells. That is the cells which are in the resting phase. And they are mainly used against tumors of brain and meningitis. Nitrosoureas are mainly used against the tumors of brain and meningitis. Coming to the side effects, they have severe cumulative depressive effect on the bone marrow that starts after 3 to 6 weeks after initiation of the treatment. Visceral fibrosis, renal damage and CNS effects may also occur. Coming to the examples of nitrosoureas, they are lomustine and carmustine. Coming to other drugs of alkylating agents, that is busulfan. Busulfan, it is highly selective effect. It has a highly selective effect on the bone marrow depressing the formation of granulocytes and platelets in low dose red blood cells in high doses. Busulfan has a severe effect on the bone marrow depression. It has severe effect on bone marrow. It depresses the formation of granulocytes and platelets in low doses, and it depresses the formation of red blood cells in high doses. The major uses of busulfan are chronic granulocytic leukemia, and it is a second choice to the imatinib for chronic phase of myelocytic leukemia. It is second drug of choice to imatinib for chronic phase of myelocytic leukemia. Coming to the toxic effects, hyperuricemia, sterility, pulmonary fibrosis and skin pigmentation are some of the side effects or toxic effects of busulfan. The next drug is thiotepa. It is mainly used for ovarian and bladder cancer and it is highly toxic. Altritamine. It acts by alkylating DNA and proteins. It is used for recurrent ovarian carcinoma. Altritamine is used for recurrent ovarian carcinoma. And coming to the side effects, bone marrow depression, neurological effects and kidney dysfunction are some of the side effects of altritamine. The next drug is dacarbazine. Dacarbazine is a prodrug. It mainly acts by methylating DNA and altering its function. It is used in combination regimens for Hodgkin's and malignant melanoma. And coming to the toxic effects of dacarbazine, severe nausea and vomiting, myelotoxicity and neuropathy occurs. The next drug is temozolomide. It is mainly used for glioma and other malignant brain tumors and it is also used in melanomas. Toxic effects are similar to that of dacarbazine. Next, procarbazine. The next drug is procarbazine. The mechanism is it methylates and depolymerizes DNA, causing the chromosomal damage. The mechanism of action of procarbazine it inhibits both DNA and RNA and interferes with mitosis at the interface. Coming to the uses, it is a component of combination regimen for Hodgkin's and other related lymphomas. It is alternative drug for brain tumors. Coming to the toxic effects of procarbazine are leukemogenic, it is carcinogenic, it is teratogenic, allergic skin reactions, sedation and CNS effects, and disulfiram-like actions with alcohol. Procarbazine has disulfiram-like action with alcohol, it can cause hypertension with some sympathomimetic drugs, especially as weak monoamine oxidase inhibitors. It has various side effects. It is carcinogenic, teratogenic and leukemogenic. It has allergic skin reactions and also sedation and other CNS effects. Coming to platinum compounds. The platinum compounds, they cause intra-strand cross-linking. Intra-strand cross-linking. The mechanism is analogous to alkylating agents. And when they enter the cell, the chloride ion dissociates, forming a reactive complex that reacts with water and then it interferes with DNA. The examples of platinum compounds are cisplatin, carboplatin and oxaliplatin. Coming to cisplatin, cisplatin is majorly used for metastatic testicular and ovarian carcinomas and other solid tumors. Coming to the toxic effects, severe nausea and vomiting and high nephrotoxicity. Cisplatin causes high nephrotoxicity and severe nausea and vomiting. It has low myelotoxicity, tinnitus and hearing loss in high frequency, and peripheral neuropathies and anaphylactic reactions can occur. Coming to the antidote, for severe nausea and vomiting, ondansetron is used for nausea and vomiting, and strict regimens of hydration and diuresis are recommended. The next drug is carboplatin. It is less reactive and better tolerated than cisplatin. It is mainly used for ovarian cancer of epithelial origin. Carboplatin is used for ovarian cancers of epithelial origin, squamous carcinomas of head, neck, lung and breast. It is less nephrotoxic, than cisplatin. Neurotoxicity and ototoxicity can occur. Nausea and vomiting can also occur. It is more myelotoxic than cisplatin. Carboplatin is more myelotoxic. And thrombocytopenia can also occur with the treatment of carboplatin. Next drug is oxaliplatin. It is mainly used for colorectal cancer, gastroesophageal and pancreatic cancers. The toxic effects are peripheral neuropathy, limited toxicity. It is more myelotoxic, sensory paresthesia and acute allergic reactions and diarrhea are some of the adverse effects of oxaliplatin. By this, we complete the alkylating agents. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for further videos on pharmacology.